Olivia Christian hosted the game last night, and the game last night cap available on your favorite social media channels. Oh, how you doing, man?
I'm a little depressed. I'm a little depressed.
Your squad lost to a better team, so it's okay. So, okay, real question: you're a Yankees fan.
Yep.
They brought the brooms out on
Yeah,
the
they
boys.
got their crap beat out of them. I'm sorry, like you know what it is. They did.
Mm.
Are
They did.
you? You're a baseball nut. So, are you locked in tomorrow? Are you
No,
still
I,
in the world? No.
I don't even know what baseball is. I
Baseball's
don't know
over.
who
Okay,
plays.
all right.
I don't even know.
You
That's
and
how we
But
Kenny
do it.
are, in fact, brother and
Yeah,
sister.
that's how we
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
That's how we do it. Ain't
yeah.
nothing going on this
it's
week.
weird though. Baseball's the only sport that I'm like that. When my team is out, I'm out. I don't care. It doesn't exist anymore. I've moved on to fully like dive into the basketball season, the football season. But I was really regretting going up against Houston because they just have our number and they have had it for a number of years. I wanted to at least make it a little competitive when one. It was just
Yeah.
depressing and humiliating, and all the rain delays did not. It just it was the worst.
Now, I will ask you this. I'm not into the moral victories or they beat us, so much love to them. I wish you the best. That's not me. That's not me. However, Olivia, they are managed by Dusty Baker. Is there a part of you, just a little bit, that says, all right, I do want Dusty to get one?
Definitely. I'm not going to watch any of the games, none of them. But I want when I go on the ESPN or something, and I get a news report, I go on Twitter, I want to see that Dusty has a ring. I will always go for a manager, a GM, a quarterback, whoever is in a role that's African American, a role where they said that you can't do it. You don't have the capacity, you don't have the intelligence, or they just don't make space. They don't ever hire you. I'm going to be rooting for them. So Dusty, I love. I wish him all the success in the world, but at the same time, if he doesn't get it, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Wow, who needs the man when you got Olivia Christian to hold you down? Not to be a smart ass. Isn't Dusty the only one involved in this entire series? Didn't I read an article that there isn't a single black
person?
player? There isn't a single black player.
Probably not. I'm trying to.
But
think
I'm
it's-
trying to think. Like, I mean, I don't know baseball managing staffs
Yeah, I don't
everywhere.
know. I don't
So,
know what his staff is looking like, but I'm
but
trying to
in
think.
terms of prominence, like I don't know, maybe the equipment guy is black,
Yeah.
but like in terms of prominence,
the players,
the players aren't.
yeah, they're either Latin or white.
It's Dusty.
That's crazy.
Dusty repping for the whole culture.
For the whole, you got the whole culture on his back.
The whole. He's like, I'm doing this one for the culture. That's what the speech needs to be. If he gets that trophy, the speech needs to be, I did it for the culture.
Hey man, if Dusty don't win a World Series this time, I might shed a little tear, man. That's my boy.
If
man.
Dusty wins a World Series, you might shed a little tear.
Maybe that's my boy Dusty, man. He deserves it, man. He's been so good since '93. Since 1993, all his teams are good all the time, and he still is looking for that one World Series.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I feel about Dave Roberts. I'm not a big Dodgers fan. I know from the Bay, like who goes for the Dodgers, but Dave Roberts is a black manager. I'm going to go for the Dodgers to, however far they can get in the run up. We all thought that they all said they were going to be in the World Series. So like, shocker, you're not. But that's part of the reason that I will check out a Dodgers game is because I want to see Dave Roberts succeed. Until we get to a point where that's not a problem anymore, where we see more black managers and GMs and even more black players, African-American black players. There are a ton of black Latinos, which is awesome. But until we see that, I will be pointing out those folks and wishing, from the bleacher seats or from just my Twitter feed that they get a ring. But if it's not the Yankees, forget it. And the Yankees don't have a great history of
Casey's face the whole time you were talking about the Dodgers was such a victory for this show.
I mean, my face was basically saying that's where I draw the line.
For those that were watching, I strongly encourage you to scroll back and just look at Kenny's face as Olivia's talking about the Dodgers. If you're not watching, if you're listening, we appreciate you wherever you are. Go to YouTube and watch it later. I mean, it's worth it.
I wish Dave Roberts well in his next job.
No.
Whenever that is. I ain't saying he getting fired this offseason. I'm just saying when his next job, I'll be rooting for him.
I think he just re-signed for. I think he's up for like 2025. He just re-upped
Is
another
Rob
2 years.
Pelinka running the Dodgers?
They got computers and robots running the Dodgers,
Oh,
so
that's
it
what I heard.
could be the same thing
That's a
anyway.
good point.
Olivia,
Yeah,
I don't mean to pile on.
you do.
Season is over. That's already tough enough. But what do you think is going to happen to that man 99? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think he's actually about to leave the New York Yankees and come home? Got me like Chappelle right now when he was Rick James. Come home to the Giants.
I do. I just have this feeling. I have no insight, right? I don't know anybody in the organization. There hasn't been any news that popped up. I'm like, I just have this gut feeling because of that sweep. That sounds like I feel like some stuff is going to happen. Things are going to break away, and Aaron Judge is going to be part of that. Which is great to have him in the Bay, but I'm still going to be a Yankees fan. I hope he does well, but
I'm still like the Yankees
sound
too.
like you meant it.
I'm going to root for the, hometown heroes or nearish hometown.
Sacramento's home. Sacramento's home, Aaron Judge.
Right. So it's like I want him to do well, but when he plays the Yankees, I will be going for the Yankees. That's just the thing.
That's cool. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
But I am super depressed about
he was
that.
Born in Sacramento, by the way. Born in Sacramento.
So we get to claim him then.
If Brooklyn claims Michael Jordan, then we get to claim.
So that's always confused me. So Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn. Did they just immediately drive to North Carolina?
That's what it feels like.
Okay. They're like, we can handle this.
All right, we got him. Just throw him in the station wagon. Let's go.
That's like what's his name was born in Akron, I think, or Ohio, or maybe Cleveland. Steph
was born in Akron. If that's true, that's wild.
I think he was born in Akron. Yeah.
I think
Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, I think he was born in the same hospital as LeBron.
Oh, that's wild. That's a Hall of Fame hospital right there. That's an amazing hospital.
I need to take BB over there.
Yeah.
It's like going to a restaurant. Going to a restaurant, and they have all the photos of the people that have come in, and that hospital. They're like, "This is where Steph was born. This is where." These are
the rooms are like sealed off now. Like you can't give birth in those rooms anymore. So, Kitty's gonna be doing the show live from the Akron Inn just to try to get into the hospital.
The Akron Inn, the Easy 8 Motel in Akron.
That's amazing. Wow. That is amazing. Olivia, last time we talked, the Kings had just played their first game against the Portland Trailblazers. We've seen them a couple of times since. Kings are looking for their first win tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. What's your early assessment of the Sacramento Kings so far?
I feel like the Kings they really need to get the win tonight. There's obviously the record right now is terrible, but more than just like, oh, it's a loss here, a loss there. Starting a season 0-5 is just emotionally detrimental. You just start kind of sinking into that feeling of like, I don't know when we're going to win. And your confidence, the body language changes. I really think they got to win tonight, especially if it's close. I don't know what's worse, getting blown out or losing by 3 when you could have made free throws and won the game. I don't know what's worse. I think when it's close, I think I'd be more mad at the fact that they're losing by 5 or 3 and they're missing so many free throws. So tonight it's just like, do the fundamentals, stay in the game, stay focused. These big lapses and they're not doing too many things wrong. I should say that. I don't think they're doing so many things wrong, but we already know like luck is not on your side, Sacramento. So you have to be nearly perfect to pull out a win. And again, I just think emotionally they need that win tonight. It's going to be tough. The Grizzlies are tough. Jaw's got a ton of energy. He's going to be running around. He's like leading in scoring, leading in assists. Davion Mitchell's going to have his work cut out for him, but the whole team is. But I'm nervous for this because I think it's going to mean a lot. I think this game tonight is going to mean a lot to them.
To answer your question, I mean, getting blown out would be very demoralizing. Losing a close game would be frustrating. And that's a tough pill to swallow. But you can look at it as, man, like I said earlier, you're right there. You got some things you gotta clear up. You're playing some of the best teams in the league, and You know, you got to get on that level. You get beat down tonight, that would be, you may have to rethink this whole thing. It would give you that type of feeling. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're nowhere near as good as we thought they were. So
But
I
like
definitely want that.
if you get beat down, it's kind of like, well, that was a one-off. You know, beat downs happen every now and then. We saw the Warriors get beat down in Phoenix the other night, which was like a crazy turn of events. Halftime, I'm sure they wish they didn't have the third quarter scaries that they had. And like, let's just keep rolling. But beat downs happen every now and then. It's just, you know, it's a game of runs. But I feel like when you have a multiple close games where you know that you could have done one or two things different, like make a free throw, to me, that just feels worse. But that's just me.
But that's fixable, right? Like if you're just not good enough to compete, there ain't no fixing that. You know what I mean? Like it's like, all right, we lost. Well, let's make our free throws. Or, you know, we had a lapse in a defensive lapse for half a quarter. We shore that up. We're good. That's the way I look at it, at least.
I wonder if the start to the Warriors game was the demoralizing part, because that was rough. You know, the start, the comeback, the first blowout, and then the quarter of just getting your butt kicked, the straight quarter where you're even in terms of what you're doing that quarter, but you're not gaining any ground at all. And then the run at the end, maybe that's the one where, or maybe you pull a moral victory out of that. I'm not really sure. In fact, the team needs to win. This is we're you know, Mike has already said this. Like, we're not looking for moral victories, but we are looking to assess the way that we're playing. If Mike Brown wasn't happy about a game where Portland scored 105 or whatever it was, he sure as hell ain't gonna be happy about a game where Golden State scored 130.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think even with all that said, well, what you said, what we've been talking about for the past couple of minutes, I don't think there's much that could get me to change how I feel about the Kings right now. Even a loss, a close loss, a blowout loss, still early enough for me personally, where it's like, all right, you got time to turn this thing around. Margin of error maybe gets a little closer, a little tighter, but it's still early enough where I haven't hit the panic button yet. Even if they lose tonight, if they lose the two games this weekend, I'd still be like, all right, well, now you got your work cut out for you, but you still got an opportunity.
There's likely two things: how they lose, if they lose these next two games. But also, like, for me, it's really like there's a mentality that you go on with the season. There's so many moves that they made. They're being talked about in a certain way around the NBA where they're starting to feel that confidence. We got the right people in place. We got Mike Brown. And if you're still losing, it's super early in the season. I totally think they can turn things around. They're not getting blown out. These are close games. But I just feel like that momentum can quickly snowball the negative momentum, or, you know, the emotional tax it is to get up and keep losing can quickly overwhelm players, quickly overwhelm a team. And again, now you're up, it's 0 wins, 10 losses. And it's, well, maybe next week it's still early. And we keep saying it's still early. And then it's not early anymore. And for somebody like Keegan Murray, who there's so many hopes on him, and De'Aaron Fox is doing as much as he can, it's just important for them to stay up and to think that it's possible. Sabonis, it's his first season. He's getting knocked around like he'd never experienced when he was with the Pacers. He's getting that Sacramento Kings, you don't get any calls kind of treatment. Continuing to lose that way can be incredibly demoralizing. And I'm just afraid of that. Mike Brown is a happy coach. He's very positive. He's smiling. He's getting after it. So maybe he'll be able to coach them out of it. But my fear is that it can quickly turn into 0-10, 0-15, and we're like, what are we doing here?
Oh man, no. We're not even doing that. We're not getting there. That's crazy talk.
That would be.
That's Victor Wembanyama talk.
Absolutely.
That's like, just forget it. Just forget it.
Instead of breaking down like the game after the Kings play,
yeah,
we're gonna start breaking down Victor's games.
Yeah, we're gonna be breaking down Victor Wembanyama's games on NBA League Pass or NBA app or whatever it is.
Tonight's a game night. No, not the Kings. They're off tonight. Victor plays tonight, and we're here. We got Fran Fraschilla here to break it down for us.
What's you talked about De'Aaron, and we kind of mentioned this earlier. I think that's one of the big positives. about this. I think there are a lot of positives. It's a stretch of 3 games. I think there are a lot of positives in these 3 games, but there's always been questions about De'Aaron and his commitment, whether he gets disengaged and different things like that, whether he could turn it on. He's so locked in right now that it doesn't seem like he's phased at all. I mean, I know he wants to win, but it doesn't feel like he's phased by the fact that they've lost 3. Like, he's locked into this game tonight against Memphis.
Yeah, and he shouldn't be phased at this point. Again, I agree. It's early in the season. We shouldn't start doubting and getting fearful. That's just the way that I walk in the world. I'm nervous about that kind of stuff. But De'Aaron Fox is playing amazing basketball. My boyfriend is in Sacramento or is in San Francisco. Everybody knows that's where I'm from. We're big Warriors fans watching the game, and I'm loving all of it. Right, that game was amazing. And what he said, he was like, I didn't realize De'Aaron Fox was this good. We have no answer for him. He's too quick. And I'm like, this is what I've been saying. Like, people who aren't following the Kings don't see the individual talent that all of these players have, what they can do collectively, their individual strengths. But it won't matter if they don't get some win. So De'Aaron Fox, he's locked in. He's got folks around him. I think he's very confident and excited about Sabonis for this season. He's got Keegan Murray. He's got Mike Brown. There's a lot of reasons for him to feel confident, to feel good, to not be dismayed by this 0-3 start. But I do think, as the leader of the team still, he needs to finish these games. They all need to finish these games, get these wins, so he can continue to rely on those guys to do what they need to do. Because if it turns into, like, he's got to do it all, it's going to be a mess. He's as fast as he is, as good as he is at getting at the paint and opening up behind the perimeter, he's going to get worn down. And the other teams are going to pay close attention to him and not care about the rest of the team. Because if they're not performing the way they're supposed to, they don't need to pay attention. And that, again, it steamrolls into this. So I want De'Aaron to stay happy, to stay confident, and his teammates who can play the role that they've been assigned and finish these games and make your free throws.
Please make your free throws.
Please.
Quick,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what are your thoughts on Harrison Barnes and the way he's played to start the season? Has he looked like somebody that looks about washed? Or is it another? It's 3 games. He's a veteran. He'll find his way to get back into this.
I feel like he looks like he's just there to do the job. Like you have those kind of jobs where you're like, I'm getting paid from this hour to this hour. I have a lunch break. I'm taking a lunch break. And when it's 5 o'clock, I'm out. Yeah. Harrison Barnes is an amazing player. I like his attitude. I mean, I prefer like an angry, demonstrative, get after it type, but he's just kind of a chill dude, which is fine. But I sense that, he's still trying to play his game, play within this system. And it's early in the season, so he hasn't shown, in my mind, a lot of personality on the court. He doesn't seem to, go the extra mile quite yet. I mean, here and there might be plays, but I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of energy from him. It does seem like when 5 o'clock is on the dot, it's like, I'm out. That kind of feeling, that air about him.
Man, Harrison Barnes is Fred Flintstone. That's a cold world, man. That's a cold world. Quick update on Dame Lillard. Shams just tweeted that Dame Lillard will be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks with that calf strain he suffered last night. So Dame Lillard, 1 to 2 weeks.
Get well soon, Dame.
With Keegan moving into the starting lineup, are you worried about what that does to the, quote, second unit?
I don't know if I'm worried about that, what it does to the second unit. I want him to do well. He seems to do well at everything. He plays within himself, makes good decisions.
Yes.
And I want him to have some success. I mean, that's the challenge. A lot of these players who make it to the NBA had so much success growing up, right? They're used to winning MVPs or even rings, or, getting called out as the top player coming out of the draft. And then to do that, to get to this place and then to experience loss can be hard. Again, luckily we're only 3 games into the season. I expect good things from him. I feel like he handles the expectation really well because he's just even killed. It doesn't seem like he's emotionally up or down. He's just like, I'm out here to do my best and to put other people in a position to be successful. Now, the second team has just got to step in and don't become a liability. If you're not able to grow the lead, fine, but we can't risk running our starters rampant because we can't trust that you can hold at least, stay within a certain margin of error. So if all of these role players can do what they've been asked to do, play within themselves, I think they're in a good position. And I think Keegan Murray will greatly benefit from that attitude from the second team coming in and supporting whatever they've done. It will do him well to feel like he can step off the court, step up, come in, come out, and it not kind of shift dramatically when he's not out there.
Yeah. Excited to see what he can do with the starting group for sure. Before you get out of here, Olivia, to bring it all the way back, Thomas Witt brings up a good point. He's 100% right about this. I forgot about this. Says, I'm pretty sure the Giants open up the season at Yankee Stadium next year. That's right, they do. That was the first time I thought the fix was in. When Major League Baseball stuck. What you put the Giants on there for opening day? Oh, because Aaron Judge is coming back.
That old Jaheim song, just in case.
Although the NBA tried that with the TNT tried that with the Knicks and the Jazz, and that didn't work out. That game got flexed out.
Whoops. Oh yeah. That's Kings Nets, isn't it?
Nets.
That's Kings Nets. Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Kings Nets live on TNT.
It'll be weird if he goes to the Giants, how he'll be received. I think Yankees fans will be kind of grateful for what he contributed, but they'll be drunken fans. They're going to be like, some of them will. I will be one of those.
Yeah.
But
did he win a series? He didn't win a series. Oh yeah, no.
They're
going to boo the crap out of him.
And he left.
Yeah, they're going to boo the crap out of him.
You weren't tough enough to hang around, Judge.
Well, there will be in sports media
sisters when you do that.
Were they Pam and Selma or something like that?
I have no idea what their names are. I haven't watched The Simpsons in like 25 years. I have no idea. Olivia Christian, the game last night cap available on your social media channels. The game last night available somewhere at some time.
Yes.
It'll be out there for you. We'll let you know as soon as that drops. Olivia, we appreciate you as always.